So we, right at the beginning, we just invited you to think about your experience and comments on what you see as the barriers to the successful delivery of the long-term plan expansion agenda. So I just wonder if we've got some feedback coming through on that word cloud that we could share, Matt. From in relation to barriers. Aha, right, lovely. Thank you to everybody who's contributed here. So we're thinking just to articulate them so that we know what we need to do as we move forwards as a London PPN. Obviously got an issue around, yes, difficulties with staff, the politics of the privatisation of the NHS and commissioning, something we need to be really holding in mind. Problems with recruitment for sure, relate to that very much so out in the trusts. Commitment, that's an interesting one, perhaps need to unpack that a little bit more. The pandemic has created the pressure for sure. People feeling that there is a shortage of staffing, there's limited time. Oh, it's moving around, sorry, perhaps there's more. And possibly an overemphasis on primary care or IAP services. Perhaps that again need to perhaps have further conversations about people's reflections on that this morning. Failure to listen to providers is really an important failing, isn't it? But so thank you to people for articulating those barriers. Just to wind into the end of the midday and winding up the morning, I wonder if we could see if there's anything in the cloud for things that have gone all right. Let's have a look. Maybe it's a smaller cloud. Oh, it is a smaller writing. I don't know if I can see that. What have people appreciated in the work across London or wanting to celebrate? So there's some, thank you very much, Matt. Some celebration of organisational change. The notion that staff are creative, that's lovely to hear. The breaking barriers, and there's something here about assistance. This is so. Yes, there's a sense that the professionals are being proactive in their work. There's an appreciation there, I think, of apprenticeships. The value of the focus on staff health and well-being. So there's a shout out to the last team for the excellent work that they're doing, and knowing that that's working right across London. Great to hear about trauma-informed care. Brilliant. Okay, so engagement of multiple stakeholders. Yeah, I think that's been absolutely reminiscent of the morning. Such a range of people, and I think comes right back to what I think. Thank you very much for those, Matt. I will come back to the questions, not now. We'll come back to the questions and come back to people at future events. But just coming right back to, I think, something Adrian said at the beginning of the morning in relation to the expansion challenge, that we have. We can't do this on our own. We do need to all work together, putting together from community services to NHS providers to health, higher education support, and the voice of the people using services, so important in our overall delivery. So just to wind up the morning and say an enormous thank you to everybody that's been involved today. Really appreciate that. There will be some kind of edited version, hopefully remove any of our stumblings, will be available on the PPN website and under London PPN, I think, as a way of sort of coming back to any of this material, and also engaging with us if anybody wanted to make contact and develop any of the ideas or get involved in any of the projects. We still have a few places available on the Workforce Council, but we're extremely grateful to you for joining us and helping us to think forward. So just rounding up on the next steps, just 1 minute over, but on the last slide, we know we've got this funding for an additional 27,000 posts in mental health, and so that is a trigger point to inspire us. So we're, and HEE and NHS England and Improvement are going to be closely aligned from this point forwards, working together to expand the psychological professions by a large amount, 10,500 posts by 2024. So for London, that's 2011 approximately in this region. So we have work to do. If we do it, it will enable us to deliver the NHS long-term plan and to look beyond it to all those other areas that we've heard about this morning where psychological professionals can make a useful and significant difference. I just want to say a very final thank you for joining us today, and I look forward to hearing from as many of you as possible about how you can join us on this journey into year 2 birthday. Okay, thanks so much. Have